The jump marks will be good track uphill. You are P6 on the lap time chart. Good job.
That pace. That pace. The green flag. Go, 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 go. You'll need another tenth, you. You'll need another tenth of a second. Let's go.
And there's this huge rush of euphoria, you know, at doing this sort of thing. Maybe that's crazy. A lot of people say it is, but that is a feeling that you get from it. You know, pushing that limit and just seeing how well you can execute it, knowing that the consequences can be severe.
Good job. Good job. Good job, Mr. Brown. Great.
Welcome to picturesque Virginia International Raceway, where you'll see the best in open-wheel road racing and meet the people who make it happen. We're here for the Formula 2000 Championship Series, so let's get started.
My first big purchase I ever made once I graduated from college, and my first commission check I got when I was selling long-distance service, I used to put as a down payment on a race car. And it was the crappiest race car you could ever imagine. There was a race down in New Jersey, and I got everything situated, got down there and blew the engine up in the first 2 laps, loaded it all back up, went back home, and I thought it was the best thing I ever did in my life. And that's how I started, and it was a natural progression from there, and I sort of worked my way up, and it's a passion that is in you that you just can't get rid of.
Well, I bought it in January 1975 because we'd had a variety of tow vehicles, none of which were very good. And I just decided I needed something with a little more room and a little more power and a little more durable. And this just happened to be sitting on a lot at a dealership in Cleveland. $3,900 later, I bought a van. So, and I treat everything that I have like I'm going to keep it forever. So I always maintain everything. That's why I've been able to keep it running for 43 years.
Does that include your wife?
Of course. She's fabulous. She's my crew, my friend, my everything, yeah.
Racing is, sometimes it's stressful, sometimes, it's really rewarding. So, you get that reward in the end, and that's really what you strive for, but there's a lot of pain and pressure along the way.
I mean, everyone would love to be up in the top ranks like that, IndyCar, Formula One. Right now, I'm just happy with where we are. Whatever we can do with the money that we have, this is our first season doing this, and this is our first race. So we're not really sure if we're going to be able to do any more races this year. We're kind of working with some sponsors and trying to get some extra money, so anything can help. But as far as we know right now, this is the only race we're doing this year.
When I was a child, I aspired to be a race car driver, but money and thing is a tangible piece to racing and a big factor nowadays, sadly.
A sponsor would help a lot. I mean, anything can help, even if it's just paying for tires or the entry fees or anything will help. I mean, it all adds up really quickly. Especially just maintenance on the car is a big expense, so anything will help. I try my hardest to be up front, and anyone that does help out, I really make sure that I present them and give them as much attention as I can and help them out as much as they deserve because they're helping me out with racing.
I sell printing supplies professionally with my dad, and I'm graduating college next week, so that'll be an accomplishment under the belt, and then we'll go work full time. We'll do 70 hours a week over there, and then we'll come to the track on the weekend. So that's my life.
Like any sport, I mean, a batter feels like the bat is part of his body. The race car becomes part of your body, and you don't have to think how to operate it. You just look at the track, know what the limit is, and you do what you need to do to go through the corner. You do all the shifting and all that kind of stuff. It's all ingrained in your muscle memory and the right side of your brain. So I'm working sort of automatically, not thinking so much. If you have to think too much, you're not going to be fast.
It's hot and uncomfortable, but in a way that makes it better because you know that you're doing something that's hard because it's physically demanding on you at every second. And it's just the most fun you could possibly have, you know, going through the G-forces and then looking through a corner and using your eyes to look at your apex and then physically get the car there and start rolling on the throttle and knowing whether it was good or bad, or it's great.
Yeah, mistakes are okay as long as you don't do them taking other people off the track, crashing into them or something like that. If you spin out or wreck the car, that's part of the business. I mean, if you're not really pushing the limit, driving 100%, you can avoid mistakes, but you can't. You have to be real close to the limit.
I just enjoy the rush. It's a good time just to bond with my dad. We've both been into racing for a really long time, so it's just a good family thing to do. We love it.
And I would go to the track with my dad and watch him race. And I never really raced karts. I didn't do a lot of that. I was playing sports growing up. And I got into racing early college years. I had always had an attraction towards single-seaters, Formula cars specifically. When I was at the track and my dad was racing and the Formula car group would go out, that was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I want to do that one day, you know? I mean, I like a lot of the technology and things we can do with the car, you know, aero and shocks and gearboxes, differentials. So it's something that I'm very passionate about. My wife will tell you, I mean, I'm in the garage a lot working on it, and it's a sacrifice. If I'm fortunate enough in a position where I can afford to have me and my two sons racing together, it'd be pretty cool. You know, I don't know where qualifying is right now, but we're all, the top 5 are pretty close.
Within about a week of getting home, I wound up in the emergency room with, you know, awful pain, nerve pain.
So with the injury, the biggest thing was just how much time was it going to take to get through it and get back?
I had a fusion surgery a little bit before the VIR race last year. I had to, you know, watch everybody on Race Monitor go around in VIR while I was recovering from that.
But it was a really long process from getting injured to getting where I needed to be to get it fixed, to surgery, to rehabilitation, to back at the track.
If you couldn't have raced again, what would that have meant to you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm to be honest, I don't know. I don't know. It would have been a big deal. There's no doubt it would have been a big deal. How big a deal? I don't know.
This is one of my favorite tracks, so specifically, I love the racing. At the end of the straightaway, there'll be some great passing, and drafting will be a big play in the final race here. I'm starting in the 8th spot tomorrow and the 4th spot today, so not where I'd exactly like to be, but we'll be up further hopefully in the race and race it out.
Well, there's a lot of fast guys in this class. I don't have any crazy notions that I'm going to win the championship or anything. 74 is a little bit of an obstacle to overcome, but I think I could probably finish in the top 3 or 4, which would be pretty darn good, and maybe win a race or 2.
It's hard to explain. It's just incredible. I mean, the amount of force you go through to some of these corners is like, you can't even believe that these cars are capable of doing this. It's just the biggest rush you'd ever imagine. I mean, I get super nervous sitting on grid before I go out, but as soon as I get on track, all that goes away, and it's just focused on the track, and it's just exhilarating. It's hard to explain.
Formula 2000 Championship Series ready to roll into action here at Virginia International Raceway. Up on the front row, first ever pole position for Nick Palacio out of Vienna, Virginia in car number 25. Newcomer Reese Everard having his first start in the Formula 2000 Series goes from the outside of the front row in number 61. The veteran Steve Jenks, now in a Mazda-powered Van Diemen, number 68, will start third on the field, also with a Mazda-powered car. Number 01, John McCusker, in fourth position. Al Gabor who has run a limited schedule recently, puts the number 95 car into 5th position. 6th goes to 2006 Series champion Matt McDonough in the Hedgehog Racing Radon number 69. 15 laps with a 30-minute time limit for this Formula 2000 Championship Series event. Field coming through the hog pen corner. Pace car clear of the field. They come up over the rise, begin to pick up the throttle. Palacio and Everard looking for the green flag from starter Phil Jaraminski. Little bit of a ragged start, but he's going to let them go. Headed down towards turn number 1. Palacio in the yellow number 25 on the inside. Somebody going off in a cloud of dust there. Challenge for Reese Everard as he heads towards the roller coaster. Nick Palacio has had a good run, but not quite enough to match Reese Everard here. Palacio, however, will have the consolation of his first ever pole position in Formula 2000 competition. Down the roller coaster for the final time. Reese Everard about to make that final turn called Hogpen. He'll climb up out of the hollow and see Phil Jaraminski with the checkered flag. Palacio catching up here. Something's happened to Everard's car. So Everard, who looked like he had this won, slows coming up out of the hill, and Nick Palacio takes the win. Looked like maybe Everard's car had lost fuel pressure. Everard able to coast across in second, but a shocking change right at the finish line. It looked like Reese Everard had this race won. The car just sagged on him as he came up the hill, headed towards the checkered flag, and Nick Palacio steals the victory. This is Nick Palacio. Nick, your first pole position. What were you thinking as you came up out of Hogpen?
Oh shit, I'm actually going to win this thing, wow.
That is Nick Palacio, our winner out of Vienna, Virginia.
I feel excited and happy for my first weekend with F2000. It was awesome. It was still a good finish, although I think I ran out of gas a little bit. But I'm so happy with the result. I'm proud of myself and proud of everyone that I worked with, and it was an awesome race.
No, we had a good race. It was a lot of fun. I was back and forth with John McCusker. He was ahead of me for a little while. I managed to pass him when he had a little bit of a bobble, and then the Radon was right behind me too, so he got beside me 3 times. So it was an exciting race.
Tomorrow is going to be a little harder. I'm starting a little further back, about 7th. So I'm going to have to try and work my way up a little bit. Hopefully the front guys aren't going to get away too fast. But I'm going to try my hardest.
We put the car on the fence this morning and had to spend the entire day reassembling a car in 89 degree temperatures. There might be a beer or two drank later just to rehydrate.
Yeah, some days you get the bear, some days the bear gets you, as they say. 2 lanes really quickly, within a second and a half, turned into 0 lanes. And so it all came together. I wound up running underneath his wheel. Luckily, I didn't do much damage to his car. So I'm happy about that because it was more my fault than anybody else's. I got myself in too deep in the corner. And I shouldn't have been there. It might have worked, but it didn't. And it's an error in judgment on my part. Well, I went over and apologized to him and said sorry. Luckily, he's a gentleman about it. His car's not damaged very much. So I've got a car to fix, but I guess that's racing.
Because I helped work on the car, you feel like a part of it, and because you feel a part of it, you actually get really involved. And when he was going around, he had a 4-second lead on the leader, 4-second lead on the second place man, and there was 1 lap to go, and I thought, you can't lose 4 seconds, you can't. And then what happened? Right at the last. But that's motorsport. What can you do?
Just barely ran out of gas and the car started sputtering. So I was kind of struggling to get the car going again and watching the second place come up behind me and just missed getting first. And then in the weigh-in today, we forgot to get gas in the morning. And then about just pulling into the parking space, it ran out. So we had to have my parents come up and fill the car back up. Yeah, we've already double-checked about 5 times now. Gone over everything in the car to make sure everything's good. We'd hate to have another stupid mistake like that again.
The adrenaline rush, even though I'm not driving. I'd like to drive, but I know I'm not good enough.
So talk to me about when your guys out on the track.
Nervous, no matter what. You know, we kid around. Even though you do your job to the best of your ability, and the car's perfect, and you've tightened every bolt and every nut, that car pulls away, and you take a big deep breath. We never talk about it. Mechanics code, deep down inside, his life's in your hands. I try to not make a mistake ever. I care about the guys that are in the car, I care about the car, and then I care about the track. This sport's funny. I've been reduced to tears on the podium and reduced to tears with a car crushed. We all want to be on the podium and have a great day and, you know, spray champagne and be first place. We always just strive for that perfection anyway. And some days you don't have it. The car, the driver, the team, somebody's got you beat. That perfection, that team effort is what this is all about.
The pace car leads the field through the final segment of corners here at Virginia International Raceway as we get ready for round 2 of the Formula 2000 Championship Series. Yellow 25, Nick Palacio, the green 69 of Matt McDonough on the front row. Steve Jenks and Brandon Dixon on row number 2. Reese Everard and Tim Paul make up row number 3. Field up out of Hogpen, accelerating towards the start-finish line. Good 2x2 formation. Starter Phil Jereminski puts the green flag out. Round 2 of the Formula 2000 Championship Series officially underway. As they head towards turn number 1, it's Nick Palacio on the low side. Matt McDonough going to the top of the racetrack, balancing the car right out on the edge of the pavement. Brandon Dixon in third. Out of turn 1, headed towards turn 2, NASCAR bend. It's going to be Matt McDonough with the lead. Nick Palacio 25 second, followed by Dixon, Jenks, and then Reese Everard. Tim Paul with a bumpy ride over the curb. McDonough with the lead as they head down into turn number 1. Palacio down to the inside, big lock up from the 25, but he'll take the lead from McDonough. Dixon second, Everard third. Through NASCAR bend, it's the 25 of Nick Palacio, your number 1 position. Now down through the roller coaster, Palacio followed by McDonough. Everard around Dixon, but now the 61 wide coming out of the final turn. He'll have to get out of the throttle and slowly make his way back to the pavement. Tough break for Reese Everard. McDonough with the lead once again. Palacio in second. Down into turn number 1, now headed towards NASCAR Bend. Yellow 25 in trouble, Palacio slipping off the pavement. That's going to open the door for Brandon Dixon. Looks like a two-car shootout here between the 2006 champion McDonough and Dixon in the 5. Down through the roller coaster, McDonough hanging on by a slim margin. Dixon right there in the number 5 car in second. Coming to the line, white flag is the signal from starter Phil Jereminski. Dixon takes a look up at the high side, balancing the car right on the upper edge of the racetrack. But McDonough with the better line as they head towards NASCAR Bend. Dixon bobbles just a little bit. McDonough able to stretch a couple of car lengths through NASCAR Bend, now into the left hook for the final time. Climbing up towards South Bend, it's still McDonough through Oak Tree and onto the backstretch. Matt McDonough trying to hold off Brandon Dixon. Dixon in the slipstream has made up ground. He'll pull out right as they head towards the top of the roller coaster. Outside McDonough, inside Dixon. McDonough back to the number 1 spot. But now the 69 car wobbling a bit, slips wide. That opens the door for Dixon. Brandon Dixon through to the lead in the number 5 as they head down into Hog Bend. Up and out of the final turn, it is Brandon Dixon. One more try for Matt McDonough as they accelerate towards the checkered flag. But it looks like Dixon in the number 5 out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama will take the win. Brandon Dixon over Matt McDonough for the win. Third will go to Steve Jenks. Fourth, Tim Paul. Fifth, Peter Gonzalez. And sixth, Dave Weitzenhoff. Last lap, what was going on out there?
Well, about 6 months off, I made a couple mistakes back, so I missed a shift. I went off. He was able to catch up, but you know, we had a fantastic race, and that's what it's all about in the end, really.
Congratulations, second place on your comeback year.
Yeah, maybe. Thank you.
Did you go into the last lap with a plan, or were you putting it together as you went along, trying to chase down Matt?
Yeah, I was just pushing as hard as I could, looking for any opportunity. And so we both went in, I'd say, really, really deep into the turn at the top of the hill. And, you know, he just sort of overcooked it a little, went out wide, and I did an over-under. It just, the door opened and I took it.
I think that this is a great paddock and great people who are around here.
This is a great track, and it's a great atmosphere here too. It's you feel relaxed. It's not. There's no tension, and it's just a really nice atmosphere here. I really do like this circuit.
I won't give it up until something forces me to.